sometimes they run up to the camera because they like the light. There's his head. And see the light going off, gleaming off his eye.
Yeah,
There's his carapace. That's the top of the shell.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Tortoises are ectothermic on external sources to heat up their bodies. So after they warm up in the sun, they retreat back into their cool, safe burrows. And by the way, if you're wondering, yes, a tortoise is different from a turtle. A turtle spends most of its time in the water, while a tortoise lives only on land. This summer, we saw these cute loggerhead turtles hatch on one of Kennedy's beaches. You could do it, little buddy. Kennedy is an important nesting ground for several species of turtles.
So what's a full-grown tortoise? Like how big, how much does it weigh?
They probably weigh 8 pounds, 10 pounds.
Oh, I thought not more.
Not that big. I mean, there's some that get ginormous, but...
On this episode of Far Out, NASA's wild side at Kennedy Space Center.
First thing you do, if you ever made up words, is always point it away.
With that, we say farewell to the pad and head towards what was where there's a fascinating coexistence between nature and technology, the southern ends of the space.
And liftoff of Artemis 1.
We finally make it to some of the prehistoric, burrowing, and feathered friends who call this space center we want to check out, and the people who work make our way around all the work to confirm that, yes, there's been a security. You think you know NASA. We whip out our burrow camera to see if anyone's home. I'm Megan Cruz. Come with me to experience the extraordinary, the unexpected. So you know what that means? It's time to dig a bucket trap. Welcome to NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where thousands of people come together to unravel. Sounds harmful, but Russ assures me it's not. But while they work on science experiments, build spacecraft, and launch rockets, other creatures are out and about too. Of Kennedy's 144,000 acres, 95% is protected habitat, as the Canaveral National Seashore and Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge. Over 330 kinds of birds, 117 types of fish, it turns out different mammals, for a 5-gallon kinds of amphibians and reptiles, especially with a fence. Balancing wildlife preservation and space exploration can be tricky, but NASA is committed to doing both. Just ask Russ Lowers, an ecologist at Kennedy.
So the key is to have it so when the tortoise comes out, there's no way around
my tiny body into his humongous truck, he tells me about a threatened species native to the southeastern U.S. that's plentiful here at KSC. And perhaps ironically most opposite a rocket, the gopher tortoise. Today we're checking up on the hard-shelled herbivore.
All right, so where are we going?
That way, if any mice, called Tel 4. It's in the southernmost region of the Kennedy Space Center.
Okay, and why are we going there?
We're going there to check out a gopher tortoise that has created a gap over space over the hole, so when the tortoise falls in.
Why is it called a security gate? It sounds so scary.
Well, just they don't want anything else going into that fenced-in area. They want basically everything to stay outside that fence perimeter. That way they know that their building is safe and they don't have any issues with any types of animals. If there is a tortoise within that burrow, we'll set a bucket trap or a fall trap. And then we will go ahead and check that trap every day. And once a tortoise falls in that trap, we'll go ahead and move it to a new location.
But before we could even check on the troublesome tortoise burrow...
I had a feeling this was justice. What's that?
We got our stick for anything to escape. Looks like they're making everybody go rest down.
Our team ran into what we like to call a Rocket Ranch traffic jam.
A lot of times they'll have to take rocket parts from mostly 2 times a day, the manufacturing facilities to the pad, so we have to go around the rockets. Or stand by and let the rockets go by.
Yeah, I've been stuck for a good like 30 minutes.
I measure
Just pulled over on the side of the road because the rocket fire was moving real slow.
Well, they don't move fast when they're on the ground.
So we saw 2 tortoises. So instead, we're now on our way to another popular tortoise spot, Pretty Bums, historic launch complex 39B. But then many something on the road ahead. It's small, round, and moving fast. The final test launch before landing Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon with Apollo 11. Also, STS-1 in 1981, the first launch of the Space Shuttle program. Most recently, Artemis 1 soared off the launch pad in 2022, the final test to see if a new rocket and spacecraft could return humans to the moon's orbit with Artemis 2.
This one has a feed on us. How nice.
Not yet. Jeez, folks. Be careful what you say.
You can see there are
Is she heavy?
bunch of
Oh,
tortoises.
wow. Russ periodically checks on these
By the way,
burrows
I'm
using
allowed
a
to
burrow
hold the
camera.
tortoise because Russ is here.
Basically a camera that
A
we
lot
stick
heavier than I
within
thought.
the
This is a
burrow
female.
itself.
The way you can tell it's a female
And
if you
it'll
look at it's what's
Give
this
us
called?
a
Plastron.
video
Plastron.
of
Okay.
what's down
So
in the
we
hole.
look at this
These
plastron.
cameras allow
If you look
Russ
at this
and other
plastron, see how
ecologists
flat
on
it is?
center to
It's
keep
like a
an
flat
eye
like a
on
table,
the
it's a female.
tortoises
Okay.
without
this
disturbing
is
them
an
too
adult
much.
female.
They're interested in how
How
many
many
there
comes
are,
out because
if they're
it's
doing
the
well,
size.
and how to keep
Now, they
them
do get
safe.
bigger than this, but this
Sometimes we
is
don't find
a
just tortoises.
normal
Sometimes we'll
adult-sized
find
female.
Well, I'm glad she came out.
Because we can set her down.
Okay.
We got her out of harm's way. That's number one.
Okay.
She was in the road. We'll set her
Well,
right down here in the grass.
I'm gonna let you scope this one.
Do you think
And that's
NASA
one of the
has
important
done a really
things.
good
When
job
other
of
animals need
respecting
some
the
sort of
wildlife here?
habitat of
Yes,
security,
they have. They're doing a great job.
burrows.
Everybody watches out for the animals that are on KSC.
So we say farewell to our new friend as she heads
So
home,
basically, tortoises
or
are like
to one of
Mikasa
her homes
Sukasa.
anyway.
That's so sweet. See.
There are
So,
few
if you think
things
about
as
it,
exciting
tortoises are
as
kinda
watching
like
a
the
rocket
human
soar into the
engineers
sky.
they work alongside.
But they're not the
While
only
those
thing
engineers
taking flight
design
at
and
Kennedy.
build
Birds
technology
like
to
eagles,
explore our
spoonbills,
universe,
ibises,
engineers
and scrub
design
jays,
and build
and
homes
one
that
scrub
lots
jay
of
in
other animals
particular
here depend
is
on.
eluding our friend Dave.
Now, there's the unbaned bird I have to catch. Right up in this tree right
This
here.
one right here?
Yeah. That one we haven't got
So if I like poke a snake,
yet.
Dave Brenninger is another ecologist here at Kennedy. He's been studying and protecting scrub jays for more than 45 years. So by now, his feathered friends know the deal.
Try to catch that jay, put bands on it, ask them to line up and show us their legs throughout their life, and for that they'll get peanuts, get paid. We can measure the success of that bird over time.
Yeah, I'll help make sense of what he just said. But first, let's learn about the Florida scrub jay. They're medium-sized blue and gray cooperative breeders, meaning they stay together in families to raise their young. And Kennedy Space Center has one of the biggest communities in the state, at 250 families. I'll explain
Tortoises
why
are
later
ectotherms,
too, meaning they rely on
So
external
they're like
sources
community,
to
but
heat up their
they're
bodies.
very
So after they warm up in the sun,
territorial.
they
Yeah,
retreat
we heard a
back
hiccup
into their
call,
cool,
so that
safe
was probably the
burrows.
breeder
And by the
female
way,
make a-
if you're wondering, yes,
she's
a
sort of
tortoise
telling her
is
mate,
different
family,
from
go
a
down.
turtle.
What about that
A
noise?
turtle
Chase them out.
spends most of
That
its
was a
time in the
woodpecker.
water, while a tortoise lives only on land. Whoops! This
I guess
summer,
I don't
we saw
have an
these
ear
cute
for them yet.
loggerhead but as I work on keeping
hatch
an
on
eye
one
on
of
them,
Kennedy's
Dave
beaches.
tells me how
Give
they're
it to him, little
considered
buddy.
a threatened species.
Kennedy is an
under the
important
US
nesting
Endangered
ground for
Species
several
Act.
species
Their
of turtles.
population is
So
down
what's a
to just about
full-grown tortoise?
10,000
Like how
birds,
big, how much does it
largely
weigh?
because of habitat loss.
probably weighs,
As their
I don't
name
know, 10
suggests,
pounds.
they like to live in scrub,
okay.
or areas of
There's some
small
that are
trees and
ginormous,
shrubs in sandy soil.
8 to 10
It
pounds,
provides them
probably
with safe
typical.
places
It's a
to
guesstimated
nest,
weight.
and usually
Is that an official
enough
description
food
of
for
their
them
animal?
to chow down on.
It's not. It's a
Most
made
of
up
the time
word.
they have a lot of insects.
With
and
that,
small
we say
vertebrate prey,
farewell
but
to the
on
pad
cold
and
days they
head
go
towards what
to these
was to be
cages
our
of
first
6,000
stop
to 8,000
to inspect that
acorns is what
potential
they case
security
every
breach
fall.
on the southern end of the
And
Space
6
Center.
to 8,000 acorns per scrub
We
jay?
finally
Yeah.
make it to Telfor, where
I know.
there's a but
team
today we
moving
have
some
a
construction
special
materials
treat
near
for our
the burrow
jays,
we wanna check
a
out.
big bag
We
of
make our way
peanuts.
around all the work
to
They're lucky. I'm
confirm
allergic to
that
peanuts, so I
yes,
won't be stealing
there's
this
been a security
No.
breach. We whip out
Here
our
they
burrow
come.
camera
Here they
to see if anyone's home.
So
That's a shell.
They're so
Wow.
See, so he's
This is what
basically
Dave
dressed in
meant when
water
he
right now.
said, so you know what that
They'll get
means?
peanuts,
It's
get
time
paid.
to dig a
In
bucket
return,
trap. We get a few seconds to look at the bands on their legs.
Not for the camera.
so we
This
read
is
the
hard.
band
A trap sounds
um,
harmful, but Russ
top to
assures me
bottom
it's
and then
not,
left to
and
right.
that it's perfectly safe to move the tortoise
Okay,
to
I see
fix
one in
the
the
security
tree.
breach.
Okay, oh, I see one. Okay,
Yeah,
this
you
one
can
has a yellow and a green band.
Asked him to let
Each
me do
jay is
things.
identified
It's not
by
that
its
he's not a
unique
gentleman.
combination of colors. Dave can then track these birds over time,
remember, you have to dig a hole
observing
deep
which
enough for a
family
5-gallon
it belongs
bucket to
to,
fit in.
how they behave,
So
how
even
long they're living,
just
and
right
if
in
they're reproducing. This data
It
helps
turns
him
out
understand
digging a
how
hole
well
for
the
a
families are
5-gallon
doing
bucket
in
is
their
tougher
specific
than it
areas
sounds,
of the center,
especially with a
is their
fence in
part
the
of the
way.
scrub healthy?
Eventually, it
Do
turns
they
it
have
back
enough
over to
food?
the pro.
If not, Dave and his team can try to do something about it.
Would you say that the space program has helped to keep the scrub
So
jay
the key-
population here thriving?
Is to have it so when
yes,
the tortoise
because
comes
this
out,
land has all been protected and hasn't
there's
been
no way
developed.
around.
Launches don't
bucket.
have a lot of
So we do three
impact.
things when
It's
we
in
set
a
a
pretty
bucket trap.
small
Number
area,
one,
but
they have
I think
holes.
the biggest challenge is
Holes are made for
that
drainage.
They need regular fire.
He's talking about controlled burns. Fish and Wildlife do these regularly at Kennedy to manage both the land and the wildlife that depend on it. They help reduce the risk of larger, uncontrolled wildfires by clearing away some of the dead plants and brush. This in turn also helps the scrub jays. It opens up their habitats so they can spot the hawks trying to eat them. Plus, the fresh growth after burns attracts new insects and small animals, aka food for the jays. But firefighters can't just light fires whenever they want. It can't be too windy or too dry, and they have to consider some of the infrastructure we have on center that are sensitive to smoke. With all those challenges, NASA has to work with Fish and Wildlife to think outside of the box.
So there's a machine called a brontosaurus. So if you can imagine a dinosaur that's got a chopping head on it, and it can cut the scrub off at just the right height so that you don't have to burn quite as often.
Innovation to fly in space and to protect those that fly in our backyard. Dave says he'll continue to do his part, one bird at a time, as I remind him and all of you of the one he has yet to catch.
So that's the sneaky bird he has to get. The only one that isn't banded, right?
Very
in the area. But he's hanging out with us.
So we saw two tortoises today, both just hanging out in their burrows. Our team left pretty for our last. We didn't look at how NASA balances nature and technology at Kennedy Space Center. On the road ahead, it's small, round, and moving fast.
But I have shorter legs.
We're back with
lucky
Russ.
were we. Oh my God, a bug just hit me on the face.
Nobody should be picking up.
Nobody said science was easy.
Unless that's proper permit.
I never said that.
Okay.
First thing you
In
do.
search of another shelled creature, the prehistoric horseshoe crab.
Tell us about horseshoe crabs.
That's what you're trying
I was looking for the proper verbiage.
Let's just say it how it is. They're gonna pee on
No,
you.
I did not know
This one
that.
hasn't peed on us. How nice.
Not yet.
Oh,
You spoke. Be careful what you say.
So they're closely related to spiders and other types of animals like that.
By the way,
And they've been
I'm
around
allowed
forever.
to hold the
I mean,
tortoise
like,
because
forever.
Russ is
Like
here.
200 million
A lot
years
heavier
before
than I
any
thought.
dinosaurs
This is
showed
a
up.
female.
And they're
The way you can
super
tell it's a
important
female,
to
if
the
you look at the
ecosystem
head,
around the
it's
Space
called
Center.
plaster
The
rock.
Indian and Banana
So we look
rivers
at
make up the
plaster rock.
Indian
You look
River
at the
Lagoon,
plaster rock.
which is
Yeah.
North America's
It's like
most
a flat, like a
biologically
table.
diverse estuary, meaning a lot of plants and animals like horseshoe crabs live in this mix of fresh water from the rivers and salt water from the Atlantic Ocean. The crabs lay their eggs on some of the lagoon's shores from March
Got her
to
out of
June.
harm's way. That's number one.
4 species of horseshoe crabs. The one we have here is called Limulus
Do you
polyphemus.
think NASA has done a really good
Limulus
job of
polyphemus.
respecting
Did I say it right?
She did? Yes, they have. They've done a great job. Everybody watches out for the
What they do is that
animals
they will
that are
come
on
up
KSC.
during
So we
different
say
moon phases
farewell
and
to
wind
our
phases.
new
They
friend
will be,
as she heads home, or
they
to one of
lay
her
their
homes
eggs on
anyway.
the wave zone of the river system.
There are few
that
things
wave-
as exciting as watching a rocket soar into the sky. But they're not the only thing taking flight at Kennedy. Birds like eagles, spoonbills, ibises, and scrub jays. And one scrub jay in particular is eluding our friend.
Oh, it's interesting.
There's the
But
unbanded
alas,
bird I
no
have to
crabs
catch.
laying eggs on this beach.
Right up in this tree.
Instead, we found a lot of empty
That one we
shells,
haven't
which
gotten.
could mean one of
Yeah.
two things. Dave Brenninger is another ecologist here at Kennedy. Shed and shells as they grow protect for more than 45 years. So by now, his feathered friends know the deal.
Try to set. Jay put bands on,
Crab
get
legs, but not
line up and shows her life throughout life. For that indicates we measure the success of that bird over time.
Now I'll make sense of what he said. But first, let's learn about the Florida scrub jay. They're medium-sized blue
So it's a
and
very
gray
important,
cooperative feeders. They
feeder
stay
for
in
other
fish with their
crabs.
young. Horseshoe crab called keystone species, being in decline or absent could have significant ripple effects throughout the entire ecosystem, affecting many other
So they're like
animals,
community,
migratory
but
birds.
they're very
Crabs are considered indicators.
we heard
They're
hiccup.
so
That's
sensitive to
probably
their
the
environment. They're the first to warn that something might be
By monitoring
Well, that
different
noise.
types of things
That
in
was
the
a
lagoon,
woodpecker.
like seagrass, species, horseshoe crabs, different fish assemblages.
I guess I don't have it here for them yet, but as I work to keep them, these crabs tells me how they're considered species under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. Their population is down just about how to do that using the habitats. As the name suggests, they like to live in scrub areas of small trees and shrubs and sandy soil. Like safely enough food for them to chow down on. Rusty changed out the camera's memory cards and batteries. That we first have to cut the wire from the camera pieces. Sounds easy, so I offered to help. 6,000 to 8,000 acorns per day.
Yeah.
Today we have a special for our Jays, a big bag of peanuts.
No,
Like I said, no problem. Rust it up, men, keyboards, and now it's time to show off vessels again around the camera.
So we read the band from top to bottom to the right.
Each day is identified with a unique combination of colors and tethers the back these birds, which belongs to another along them, and either producing this data some specific for decades, NASA used spatial boosters. We now use them to track SS space launch systems.
This land has
The
all
SS
been
rocket
protected.
is that new rocket that humans know through NASA organizations.
The biggest challenge is
I
we
mean,
need
over
red
a
fire.
piece of what's out there, fish, wildlife, and regulators to manage the wildlife defense. This in turn also helps. It opens up the habitat so they spot the the birds tracking insects and swamp for the days. But firefighters just when they get back up and they have to the infrastructure we have center that sensors works to inside us.
Do any type
So there's problem first. So if you can imagine a dinosaur that's got a
They wanna
chopping
know
head on
what
it, you
could
cut the
happen.
scrub off to the right.
For
so that
example,
you don't
say
have
a
to
strong
burn
storm will ready. Innovation to fly spaces of salvage roads carrying those roadways along the beaches. One bird team remind him horseshoe crabs like tomato.
So that's the sneaky story again. Only one
This
bandit
year,
rodeo.
crab populations not only due to habitats, also over harvesting and eel tourism as NASA biomedical companies use the Kennedy Space Center to detect harmful bacteria in either medicines or medical devices. To combat the loss, in February 2024, petitioned to list horseshoe crab as an endangered species under the Species Act of another prehistoric horseshoe crab protection.
So they're closely related to spiders and other types of animals like that.
They've been around forever. Like 200 million years before a dinosaur
After
showed up.
impaling
There's
herself with a
super
handle.
important to try a new around the Space Center. The Indian and Banana rivers make up the Indian River Lagoon, which is North America's most biologically diverse estuary, meaning a lot of plants and animals like bush crabs live in fresh water from the rivers and salt water from the Atlantic Ocean. The crabs lay their eggs on some of the rivers.
Here's called Limulus
So now
polyphemus.
we wait for mating season.
She did. So
Russ says he might be
what
calling
they
us
do is that
in a
they
few
will
days.
come up during different moon phases and wind phases. So they lay their eggs on the wave zone of the river system.
It's happening.
And that wave
So we dropped everything and rushed over to Russ, as in zero time to put on more appropriate clothes for a day at the beach with dozens of horseshoe crabs who, yes, are busy.
So then the eggs can actually hatch. It's actually under the sand.
Alas, no crabs. Now laying eggs on Russ says we'll do a couple of things that are essential to studying the development, which could survive one of two things. Horseshoe crabs periodically molt or shed their shells as they grow. Crab legs, but not this kind. However, they're tasty treats for
Yep. Okay, I have a horseshoe crab.
Let's take him to the bucket. That's one of the number one item. Move your later down.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
So it's a very important
I'm so sorry.
feeder role for other
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to measure them.
Horseshoe crabs are called keystone
And so what you
species,
do to measure 'em
meaning their
is you
decline
actually
or absence could
measure
have
the width of the
significant
prosoma. In other
ripple
words, the
effects
shell,
throughout an
okay?
entire ecosystem.
So you find the widest
Affecting
point,
many
which is
other
kind of right here in the
animals like
back.
migratory
Push this
birds.
together. It's called a
Crabs
caliper.
are also considered
When you push it together, you
indicator
read the number
species.
right here.
so sensitive
This one's
to changes in their
14.9.
environment, they're some of the first
So
to
the male is
warn that
14.9.
something might be wrong.
And Alina's writing all this down, so why don't you do the female?
Okay. Does she have to do? Okay.
There you go. Now just push them together, and now what do you got?
So what is that?
They'll tell us a lot about
Right there, push it together.
16 and a half?
Yep, 16.5. That's the female.
To do that,
Male.
For a female, females are a lot larger than the males.
Okay. Sounds
Number
easy.
two is they have a
I
different
offered to
claw
help.
pattern.
Right.
So their feet actually have little pinchers.
Okay.
So this has all pinchers all the way around. See all the pinchers? And those pinchers, they actually use for different things. Tearing apart food, walking, the normal stuff. Now a male, about half the size of a female,
Yeah, much smaller.
actually has little hooks
like
on
I
the front.
said, no problem.
So the front, the very front two are hooks.
They're not pinchers like
No,
the
they're
female.
not pinchers. See, they're not like the female, but these little
Show
hooks
off my
is what they hook
muscles
on.
again
Okay.
to attach
That's
a
how
new
they
wire
hook on to the female, and that's how they mate.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a very simplistic animal. Their mouth is right in the center of their leg. These are their gills. So when they flutter these, it's like a fish respiring with its gills.
Finally, we tag them.
So what we do is we just put a hole in.
Okay.
Just take this, put it in that little hole,
Okay.
and you push.
Back okay.
There, now push it in.
Now, we're off to the second
Push hard.
to do the same.
There you go, bam.
Another. Got it. So that now that's tagged.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have to tag the
So it's
female.
very simple.
This next location, Russ promises we're not hurting them. He makes sure we tag them on their shells, but then again, some may recognize or appendages.
We are
For
tagging
decades,
them.
NASA
We have
used
different
them to
volunteer
transport space
people that
shuttle
actually
boosters.
monitor horseshoe
We now
crabs
use
around
them to
the whole
transport
moon.
SLS,
And what's really neat is we can get
system
movement patterns.
The SLS
From the
rocket
Banana
is that
River,
new
the Indian
rocket I
River,
told you
and
about
back and forth.
that
So you know
will
where these
return
animals, how
humans
far they
to the
will travel.
moon through NASA's Artemis mission.
It'd be nice to know if these animals are going 100 miles because
Apparently
100
over
miles
a river
here, maybe
and
somebody's
through the
going to do
woods.
something that
I
would be
wonder
harmful
if we'll
to
rest at
the
Grandma's
horseshoe
house.
crab.
So it's at a protected area.
Correct.
Again, ensuring we give these living fossils their best chance of survival by monitoring their habitats. And if the crabs thrive, other animals that depend on them should do well too.
Grab them by the side.
Okay. So pick this one up by the side.
Grab tight. Look at you.
Yep, I fell down. When I get back up and check in the rest of the wayfish. Once there, Russ tells us why he's doing this help NASA. Are you gonna put him back on her? Spaceport.
They'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. So there. When does he uncover?
After she lays the eggs and he fertilizes the eggs, then they'll split up and they go their own way.
For example, say a strong storm rolls through Kennedy. The heavy rain erodes as the sun sets on another busy day here at Kennedy Space Center. It's clear this place is not just about launching rockets and exploring the cosmos. It's also about protecting the tortoises, mudjays, horseshoe crabs, and hundreds of other plants and animals that call the Space Center home. It's a delicate balance. In recent years, the horseshoe crab population has plummeted. Ecologists have shown us habitat science and nature can go hand in hand, and eel inspiring us to reach for the stars, and biomedical companies use their blue blood to detect harmful bacteria in either medicines or medical devices. To combat the losses, in February 2024, 23 organizations petitioned to list horseshoe crabs as an endangered species under the Endangered Species Act.
There's no parts to show.
So let's help Russ help the horseshoe crabs by checking on another game camera.
Want to do a couple of calisthenics to get warmed up? Let's go right this way.
After impaling myself with a handle, I try a new technique.
Put the hammer down.
Slowly.
soon. But thanks for your help.
Oh, of course. I'm glad I didn't snip off your finger.
So now we wait for mating season to begin. Russ says he might be calling us in a few days. It's happening! So we dropped everything and rushed over to Russ, as in zero time to put on more appropriate clothes for a day at the beach with dozens of horseshoe crabs who, yes, are busy.
It's actually under the sand.
Now that they're here, Russ says we'll do a couple of things that are essential to studying their development and survival.
So if you can grab them right on the inside of their persona, right here. Okay. That's how you hold them.
Oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god.
You got a female, I got a male.
Okay,
Just like that.
Okay. Yep.
Look at that.
Yep. Okay. I have a horseshoe crab.
Let's take him to the bucket.
Okay.
Please, will you here now?
Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Here you go.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to measure them.
Okay.
And so what you do to measure them is you actually measure the width of the persona. In other words, the shell, okay?
Okay.
So you find the widest point, which is kind of right here in the back,
All
and you
right.
push this together. It's called a caliper.
Okay.
And when you push it together, you read the number right here. So this
15?
one's 14.9.
14.9.
So
Okay.
the male is 14.9. And Alina's writing all this down. So why don't you do the female?
Okay. Does she have to do? Oh, there you go.
There you go. Now just push them together. Now what do you got?
So what is that?
Right there. Push it together.
16 and a half?
Yep, 16.5. That's the female.
Okay.
Good job, see? You're a scientist after all.
You're trying to make me feel better because
No,
I
you're doing great.
squirmed.
No, you're doing great. So next thing we're gonna do is weigh them. So all you do is you pick one up,
Okay.
set them in the bucket, grab your scale, hook the scale on there, and you look at this pendulum right here.
Yeah.
And what's that at?
1 kilogram?
1.1.
Oh, 1.1. Oh, I see. 1.1 kilogram. Okay. That was male? Male.
Male. For a female, females are a lot larger than the males.
Okay.
Number two is they have a different claw pattern.
Right.
So
Oh
their
my
feet
God.
actually have little pinchers.
Okay.
So this has all pinchers all the way around. See all the pinchers?
Mm-hmm.
And those pinchers, they actually use for different things, tearing apart food, walking, the normal stuff, day to day. Now a male, about half the size of a female,
Yeah, much smaller.
actually has little hooks on the front.
Oh,
see?
in the front. Yeah.
So the very front two are hooks.
They're not pinchers like
No,
the
they're
female.
not pinchers. See, they're not like the female,
Yep.
but these little hooks is what they hook onto.
Okay. And that's how they hook on to the female, and that's how they mate.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a very simplistic animal. Their mouth is right in the center of their leg. These are their gills. So when they flutter these, it's like a fish respiring with its gills.
Finally, we tag them.
So what we do is we just put a hole in.
Okay.
Just take this, put
Okay.
it in that little hole,
Okay.
and you push.
Okay.
Push it in. Push hard.
Okay.
There you go,
Got
bam.
it. Got it. So now let's tag.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have to tag the
So it's
female.
very simple.
Uh-huh.
Russ promises me we're not hurting them. He makes sure we tag them on their shells, away from organs or appendages.
We are tagging them. We have different volunteer people that actually monitor horseshoe crabs around the whole lagoon. And what's really neat is we can get movement patterns from the Banana River to the Indian River and back and forth. So you know where these animals, how far they will travel.
And why do we need to know that?
It'd be nice to know if these animals are going 100 miles, because 100 miles from here, maybe somebody's going to do something that would be harmful to the horseshoe crabs.
So set up protected areas. for
Correct.
them.
Again, ensuring we give these living fossils their best chance of survival by monitoring their habitats. And if the crabs thrive, other animals that depend on them should do well too.
Grab them by the side.
Okay, so pick this one up.
Yeah.
By the side.
Grab tight. Pick it up. There you go. Look at you. You did it.
Oh, it's trying to push against me. Okay. So they're, when does he unhook?
After
and we.
I'd like to address the rumors right at the beginning. I think it's important that we talk about that. This object is a comet. It looks and behaves like a comet and all evidence points to it being a comet. But this one came from outside the solar system, which makes it fascinating, exciting, and scientifically very important. This is only the third interstellar object like this that humanity has ever found. And a little bit more about the rumors. I think it's very important, and I'm actually very excited that a lot of the world was speculating about the